Kung Lao once saved Earthrealm in Mortal Kombat, defeated Goro and Shang Tsung, chosen by Raiden as one of the top fighters of the White Lotus Society. Oh, wait a second. I'm talking about this Kung Lao. This one has never been that lucky. The Kung Lao that we know and love in Mortal Kombat has to be one of the saddest characters, I think, in Mortal Kombat lore, just for how unlucky he is and how he can't catch a break. You know how Raiden had those premonitions in Mortal Kombat 9 to where he left a message for himself saying that he must win? This Kung Lao was almost told the opposite of that. So, going back to the original Mortal Kombat timeline, Kung Lao is a descendant of the great Kung Lao, who is revered as this amazing champion of Mortal Kombat. At one point he saved Earthrealm. That was before he was killed by Goro, and then, Goro won 9 out of the next 10 tournaments before Liu Kang showed up to save the day. What's interesting about this point in time is that Liu Kang was specifically picked to be the champion and savior of Earthrealm, and Kung Lao wasn't even asked to participate in the first tournament. According to the first timeline, it was after the first tournament had concluded, though Kung Lao, disguised as one of the armored guards at the tournament, decided to interfere and aid Liu Kang at the tournament. Now, I will note, in some versions of text for Mortal Kombat 2, it is stated that Kung Lao was originally asked to participate in the first tournament, but turned it down because, obviously, the consequences of winning the first tournament, he would temporarily be immortal and live through a whole generation. He didn't want to go through that, so he said no. That's in certain texts for Mortal Kombat 2. Other ones just explain him infiltrating after the first tournament and then joining Liu Kang as they journey to Outworld to fight Shao Kahn. It's also explained at this time that the Tarkatans was sent by Outworld to attack the White Lotus Society, so Liu Kang and Kung Lao's home was pretty much destroyed around the second tournament. After Liu Kang, the actual hero of Mortal Kombat, defeated Shao Kahn the first time, Kung Lao decides to try to rebuild the White Lotus Society in Mortal Kombat 3. This is also unsuccessful when Outworld just straight up invades Earthrealm this time around, and Shao Kahn tries to merge the two realms by force. And he gets killed, supposedly. The story here is that he faked his death so that he didn't have to live a life of battle and he could have peace and all this other nonsense. He didn't have to have the burden of Mortal Kombat like his ancestors did. So, in the original few Mortal Kombat games, Kung Lao sort of looked at the tournament itself and competing in Mortal Kombat like a gigantic burden, but he always had Liu Kang's back. He was loyal. Too bad the games isn't loyal to him, because from this point on, remember how I said Kung Lao supposedly died in Mortal Kombat 3? Well, in MK4, or Gold if we're being honest, he once again helps Liu Kang in the fight against Shinnok, and he also launches an attack on Goro just to get revenge for killing the great Kung Lao, but this was almost met as a retaliatory act of peace, don't ask, and Goro and Kung Lao were cool after that. Of course, Goro gets killed, and we get Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, where Liu Kang finally gets killed. And guess who goes to join him? That's right, for all the loyalty, all the wanting to live a life of peace, never mind all of that, the Deadly Alliance kills Kung Lao in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance anyways. Now, in Mortal Kombat Deception, Kung Lao is resurrected as one of the slaves of Onaga. God, I wish we got Onaga in Mortal Kombat 1, but in any event, that's a different conversation. He's resurrected. This would, I guess, be the first time Kung Lao is undead or a revenant, and he's serving Onaga in Mortal Kombat Deception. Supposedly, he is human and reformed by Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Somehow he comes back to life. This is kind of vague and never fully explained. There's wiki articles and whatnot that describes this, but I'm not necessarily sure as to what Kung Lao's actual story is according to Armageddon, just because the game brought everybody back. But we know the results of Armageddon anyways. He dies for the second or third time, depending on how you look at it. So, the descendant of the great Kung Lao, one of the mighty champions of Earthrealm, is constantly getting beat up and killed being loyal to Liu Kang and the White Lotus Society. Not looking good so far. But we get a reset. Raiden screws up the timeline, sends a message to himself back in time, it undoes everything, and now we trek all the way back to Mortal Kombat 1 and the first tournament, where Kung Lao intervenes as an armored guard once again and decides to participate in the first tournament. Slightly off from the original timeline, but we know that NetherRealm made some retcons and exceptions to the timeline when they redid the series of Mortal Kombat 9. So now let's see how Kung Lao's life favors. So, once again, Kung Lao gets defeated in the tournament, but Liu Kang is the champion, as he always is. He defeats Goro, he defeats Shang Tsung, he wins the tournament, everything's happy, everything's at peace once again. But it's not. Like the original timeline, Shao Kahn invades anyways, they have the tournament in Outworld. Too bad for him, Shao Kahn is a sore loser and he broke his neck. So, Kung Lao's dead again. Like, why? Why can't this man catch a break? So, as in the original timeline, it took about 5 games for Kung Lao to actually get killed, 3 for him to supposedly get killed. We reboot the series and right off the gate we've killed Kung Lao off. It almost reminds me of the new Mortal Kombat movie, but in any event. Quan Chi resurrects Kung Lao as one of his undead revenants. He would kind of remain this way for the next 2 games. I'm so glad that we've escaped this era of Mortal Kombat, by the way. So, in Mortal Kombat X, he continues to serve Shinnok and Quan Chi. He's pretty much evil at this point because he's not fully in control of his own mind. And this continues in Mortal Kombat 11. Only in MK11, we have 2 versions of Kung Lao, the one in Earthrealm that was fighting in the tournament, and the Revenant one that's in the timeline that he's supposed to be in. All this time stuff is truly screwing up the Mortal Kombat story, but in any event. So we have 2 Kung Laos. Revenant Kung Lao gets defeated by Fire God Liu Kang at the end of the story, and the other Kung Lao is just lost to time when Kronika restarts history. But luckily, Liu Kang, Fire God Liu Kang, so now he's not just the champion of Mortal Kombat, he's actually a god now, defeats Kronika and gets to reshape history as he sees fit. And now we have a brand new Mortal Kombat, brand new timeline, and we have a brand new champion of Earthrealm. So, how's Kung Lao doing this time? Obviously, he would be the champion, right? It's what he wanted the entire timeline of the NetherRealm games. He wanted the spotlight over Liu Kang. They just made Kung Lao this big jealous guy for no reason, so that has to be what he's after, right? Nope. He makes Raiden the champion of Earthrealm. 'Cause why not? So we get a brand new timeline, a brand new era, and still Kung Lao cannot be the champion of Mortal Kombat. At this point, I don't think he ever will. And in the next game, I guess we might as well just call this Mortal Kombat 2, I'm almost fully expecting Kung Lao to get killed at this point. Looking back at the Mortal Kombat timeline, I guess we could automatically assume that Kung Lao is the Krillin to Liu Kang's Goku. Hopefully I'm wrong and one day Kung Lao will get his moment in the sun, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that that's gonna happen. Note, I completely bypassed the movies and cartoons and side comic book series where Kung Lao also gets killed incessantly, so there's that too. Am I being too hard on him, or is Kung Lao really just this unlucky of a character? You tell me.